Hi everyone, this is Francisco. So this is our and one thing that I personally don't like about it is which I think I already shared, like when I'm washing my face. Doing something. See that? So sometimes I'm brushing my teeth as well, and I'm trying to squeeze this off, like the sink, and I go like that, come back, for more water. See that? Because I'm trying to use this to like splash, kind of like the yeah, I turned off right there. Cool. See? Or so yeah, sometimes it doesn't hit the sensor. Like that. That's a good indication or a good example. See that? So I want to quickly discuss that with everyone through this video. So technically I noticed that the sink will turn off so personally I purchased this one right here, the matte black. I think, yeah, the matte black one. Or was it the oil rubbed? I think it was this one, the oil rubbed. Oh yeah, it is. And you know, just so that all of you will know that I'm not talking crap, I will actually show you guys, because I purchased 2 of them. This is the box for it, and I have another one in here. Alright, and it is that the oil rubbed one. It has like this the antique look to it. Okay, so it's really nice, elegant. I really love it. Simple to install. However, I think it's created so I could save water. But I believe that because Okay, because I can technically go back in the video. Like if I were to edit this whole video, I would be able to go back, like right now when I was in there, and point out the sections, the parts, or the moments. I mean to say, the moments when I place my hand back underneath the faucet and the sensor detects my hand. Sometimes there's a brief moment where the water gets cut off, and I believe that it should, once that sensor gets triggered, I believe that it should stay on for at least 10 seconds. At least. And that way if someone's doing something and they go back, they put their hand back underneath the faucet and the sensor again detects something there, so that 10-second timer will get resetted every time there's an object that triggers the sensor, that triggers the sensor for the water to come out. I believe that it should reset that 10-second timer so the water can come out for at least 10 more seconds. So, people won't experience this little, because it's so abrupt, it's so fast. As soon as you remove your hand from that sensor, it turns off. For some people that would be a good thing. For me, it's not. To me, it's more like an annoyance. I would prefer it to stay on for at least 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Because I was just reading the specs about this particular faucet, and it actually it releases 2 gallons per minute. Okay, so if you place your hand there, or on the sensor, supposedly it'll throw out 2 gallons of water for 1 minute. For every minute, it'll be 2 gallons. Okay, so technically, if I placed 1 gallon of water, it should get filled up in 30 seconds. And then if I quickly add another one, it should fill up another one for the additional 30 seconds, which will equal to 1 minute, 2 gallons per minute. So it's good. I wash my hands, and then I rinse my hands, and then I apply soap, or sometimes I add soap, and then I kind of just place it on my hands, and then I place my hands underneath the sensor so my hands can get wet, so that the water can act like a carrier for the soap to do its thing, and so it can spread evenly. And then technically, in 10 or 20 seconds, most of the bacteria should die. So that's why they say when you guys wash your hands, to at least wash them for 30 seconds. Alright, they say that because the longer the soap has, contact with your hands, the longer it has contact with the bacteria on your fingers, underneath your fingernails and stuff like that. And that time permits the soap to kill the bacteria. Okay? And then obviously that's when you could rinse the soap off. But not everyone, does it for too long. They just lather and then they rinse. I wash my hands frequently. And you guys probably seen I didn't wash my hands for very long. Like, scrub or whatever. Earlier in the video when I wash my hands right now. But again, I believe that it should stay on for at least 5 seconds or 10 seconds because, okay, for instance, I grab soap and I put my hand underneath the sink and I started lathering. For those 10 seconds, it will be running. 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, I'm probably going to place my hands back in there to rinse. Well, that water will be running, so I won't have to wait a second for that water to come back out. For the water to start flowing out. There won't be any delays. I noticed that there's some delays at times. But again, I like this faucet. I love this faucet. I have written a few reviews about it that I remember, as far as I can remember, and I like every single video about this faucet, okay? Because I want more people to buy it. I want more of that stuff out there, and I basically highly recommend it to everyone. But the only thing is that extended 5 or 10 seconds that I believe would be a great implementation to the faucets. Especially, I don't know if everyone else feels that way about this faucet, but for me, sometimes I'm trying to do something and then it just turns off on me, and it just like a little bit irritating. But other than that, we've been using it for a long time. I actually bought 2 because we have 2 restrooms. But I didn't want to place the other one, this new one. I bought them both at the same time. They've been there. This one been installed for. I've been having both. I bought them at the same time, but I've been having them both for like a year, or going close to a year. I think maybe already past a year. Okay, so they've been on there. That one had been on there for a long time. But the only reason I didn't want to install the other one is because I wanted to test the waters. I wanted to test this one out to see and determine if my family liked it, and to see and like monitor for myself if they will even like it, or if they maybe I was waiting for them to like maybe have some type of negative comments regarding it. But over time, no one ever said anything about it.
but they go in there and they use it. The only time I think that my dad ever said anything about it was, I think, turning the temperature down to more of a colder temperature, because I think it was like during the summer. So this year, 2023, I guess it was super hot out there outside, and like in the morning the water would just come in a little bit more hotter than normal, than usual, just because of the heat outside. So basically it's simple, it's just like turning it left or right. And I just basically told him, underneath the sink there's a little adjuster, and he was like, oh, okay. So now he knows how to do that. So if he wants it more colder or hotter, he can adjust that accordingly to his liking. I guess once someone figures that out, it's really self-explanatory. If they want hot water, they can play around with that to get the water to come out hot. And then obviously if you're mature enough, you're not going to leave it on the hot mode, because if kids come in and use it, we don't want them to get burnt. We don't want them to burn themselves with the hot water. So it depends on what people are doing. Sometimes people are doing hobbies at home, and they maybe they're cleaning a paintbrush, and they require, like, they need hot water to maybe get all the paint off or whatever. Or maybe they have a wax candle container, and they want to remove all the wax, so they want hot water flowing out. Whatever the case may be, for us, I think that so far we all love it. We don't miss the other one that we had before. It's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain. The batteries are still good. They recommended it, like when I purchased it, I think I bought it through Amazon, and they recommended Amazon batteries. Okay, so those were those, I think right here in the instructions, let me see, batteries. So no, it just says batteries not included in the package. But I purchased the Amazon brand. Okay, so yeah, these right here. Okay, right here, you guys will get the Amazon Basics alkaline batteries, and I believe these are the ones that I purchased. Okay, right here it says pack of 20 batteries for $10. Okay, which is really good. Yeah, because I still have them I still have them to this day, and they're still good. Okay, so I forgot where I heard this information, but yeah, I listened to them, and like I said, the batteries are still inside the the unit in here, the faucet, which sends battery current for the motion detector right here. So that's the only thing that it requires electricity for, and obviously when that's triggered, it allows the water to flow out. It just opens it. It opens the valve, and obviously when you put your hand away, it closes the valve. That's all it's doing. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what would be required for future more updated type of faucets. Like, I don't know if it will require more parts. I don't know if, just to cause it to have a 5-second water flow after moving an object away from the sensor. I don't know if it will cost more to manufacture these things, but I think that even if it does, I think people will still be willing to purchase them, even if they go up a little bit more, because of these concepts in mind. This logic behind the faucets. Okay, so like I said, as soon as you put your hand in there, it'll flow for 5 additional seconds or even 10 seconds before turning off. I believe that's the way it should be. It would make my life a little bit easier, because when I'm brushing my teeth, especially, and I spit the toothpaste into the sink, I have to grab some of the water with my hand or my hands, and I basically splash it, or kind of allow it to fall where the paste is for it to run into the drain. So I do that until it gets clean. It gets cleaned of any toothpaste. Then obviously I just walk away. For a sink, they have the for sink hose extenders. Yeah, this right here. So obviously the sink doesn't have this, and I don't know if this type of implementation should be added, because obviously if you guys have kids, and if it had a little hose, they can use it to spray around the restroom or even into the electricity box. You know, I think it should be like a GFCI type of outlet. But either way, I wouldn't recommend that. But if it's someone responsible, and if you guys maybe you guys catch your child do something like that, then maybe you guys can discipline them, or just correct that behavior as soon as possible before it gets out of hand. Okay, right? So if it did have that, that's what I would use. But either way, how would that work? Would the water just stay on for as long as you have that hose out, and maybe the water would turn off as soon as you channel the hose back into its housing above the sink? And then obviously also thinking in taking into consideration the fact that if your hand gets in the way of the sensor, it will stay on obviously for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. But technically, if your hand does not touch or interact with the sensor, and you place that hose back in, maybe it will just turn off right there on the spots, unless you place your hand underneath the sensor. And then if you release it, obviously it will go on for 5 seconds or 10 seconds, just to give you time, give the user time to do whatever it is that they're doing, in the sink area before, walking away. Or if they walk away, they will know that it will turn off. Okay? The only thing where I kind of messed up, I almost messed up, was one time when I had my laptop and I had to take a dump. I had to use the restroom, and I placed my laptop on top of the sink. I placed it on top of the sink because I figured, well, as I'm sitting down, I'm going to continue watching the rest of this video. And at that time I was watching a video through YouTube, and I couldn't wait. I wanted to continue watching it. I didn't want to take a break, so I took my laptop with me. I placed it on top of the sink, and then I realized, oh shoot, if it falls in there, it's going to trigger that sensor, and the water is going to flow out, and it's going to potentially damage my laptop. But luckily for me, nothing happened. That my laptop, it just stayed on top of the sink. It did not fall in there, so I was fine. But we have to just be aware of little things like this. the other time when I accidentally placed an electrical appliance inside of the, like into the sink area to temporarily hold it, because I was preoccupied doing some other things. I was doing something else, and I had my hair clippers, and I think I was able to actually place it in the sink, and luckily the sensor didn't pick up on it. And then I remembered, oh shoot, if the sensor picks up on the object, on any object, obviously it's going to turn on, and it could it can cause like an electrical shortage, or it could even cause a fire or something, or it could just cause the breaker to, the power, breaker, the switch to turn off. So that was like the only thing that I ever had issues with, or almost had issues with. But that could be a huge problem, especially for people who don't know about the sensor, being there. So if it's someone who always interacted with the little levers, the control levers, not the automatic water flow with the sensor, if they have a bad habit of placing things in the sink, because obviously the water's not going to flow out, they're thinking, unless they turn on the water manually. But in this case, since it is an automatic water dispenser that is motion activated, or when an object is there, it turns on, right? So sometimes people just don't think about this type of logic, and even myself, I installed it, and I almost electrocuted myself, or almost caused a fire, or almost caused the breaker to flip on me, to I think it's called like short circuited. I would have caused it to short circuit. It would have had contact within itself or whatever, which it would have flipped this. It would have flipped the breaker, the switch. So other than that, though, I've been enjoying this faucet. It's very convenient, very easy to use, very easy to install. But like I said, I bought two just to test them out. I think that by now I can install the second one, knowing that my family likes the first one, and at the same time I'm kind of winging them off this older technology. So I didn't just do it all at once. I left one in the restroom. Like I said, the old way. So if it was difficult for them to interact with, they would just go to the other one, right? But my dad uses this restroom all the time. My mom, however, she uses the other restroom. I don't know how much time she has had interacting with this motion censored faucet, but like I said, I haven't had any complaints yet. Another thing I'm kind of like concerned about is like someone having a blow dryer. Like, I don't know if my mom has one, but some people have them, and I mean, if they're not used to these automatic faucets and they don't have anywhere to place that blow dryer, they could put it into the sink real quick, because typically if someone doesn't have the censored faucet, they would place it in there, do something with their hair as they're looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're maybe applying lotions or oils, and they don't have any fear of water damaging the hair blower, or they're not worried about water entering it because there's no water flowing. In their mind, the water's off, and it's going to stay off. But if I install it and they have it, and they have a bad habit of placing it in there, and even though I will let them know, like, hey, I installed the new faucet in the restroom, I think that for safety reasons, I think these little warnings should be added to the advertisement, like, don't place your electronics inside of the sink after installing anything electrical, right? Because it could damage it, or it could start a fire, or it could ruin your electricity wiring or whatever. So yeah, like I said, I searched online for these. I really like them. We've been interacting with them for a few months now, going on about a year already, or maybe it's been over a year. I just don't really remember. But yeah, just that simple 5 seconds or 10 seconds continuous water flow would be nice. Even in the sink, like in the kitchen, because I bought another one. I don't know if it was from the same brand or not, but I do remember buying one for the kitchen, and we still have it, and it looks just like this one. The same oil. What is it called again? The paint. Oil rubbed bronze. Okay, right here we have the brush nickel, chrome, matte black, and then the oil rubbed bronze. Man, that matte black one sounds pretty cool. But I went for that vintage look. It looks nice and shiny. Anyways, I like both of them. The black one and the oil rubbed. Oil rubbed. Man, I already forgot. I forgot. Oh, oil rubbed bronze. That one, that option is super cool as well. So anyways, the one in the sink is also motion activated. So if you're washing the dishes and you're trying to rinse the plates or your cup, and then you reach to grab another one and the water's off, you know, to me it can be annoying. I don't know about any of you. I don't know how you guys would rate this yourselves, but I believe that, you know, we should all maybe vote to see and determine what other people think about it. Because I'm not the one washing the dishes, my mom is. She never said anything to me regarding the sensor, so I'm assuming that everything has been okay so far. But I never bothered to ask her, like, hey. I did, however, ask them when I first installed it if they liked it. They said yes. And then there's a few times where, because it's the tap, it's tap operated. So if you touch the neck, it will turn on. The water, well, actually it turns on. No, so it doesn't have a sensor. Oh my god. It does not have a sensor, I'm sorry. So maybe that's why she hasn't had any issues or complaints regarding that faucet, that sink faucet. And I do know that, now that I remember, that if the water's left on for, I think, 15 minutes, it would just turn off, or it could be less than that time frame. Okay, that time window, I don't know if it's after 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm not really certain. But so yeah, I remember now. It's the touch it and it turns on, touch it and it turns off. Or, you know, you could use the back of your wrist. You know, if you place your forearm or whatever, it will just turn on. For the restroom one, we all know that it's not like that. It's touchless. It has a sensor, but like I said, I do believe that it should just have that 5 or 10 second delay. Not delay, but continuous water flow after the last censored detected. So the final one from that point on, from there on out, it'll count to 10. Well, it'll permit the water to flow out for like 10 seconds, or it can be programmed to 5, however you guys want to do it, but at least, 2 or 3 seconds, at least, the minimum, but not immediately. I don't think it should be like immediate turn off. I don't think the water should just turn off immediately after removing an object from the sensor, the sensor's path. Okay, so yeah, that's why I'm recording this video, because I could have easily written a review about this, but if I place a review on Amazon, they can easily remove this one product from this one user, and if a new user comes and places that same product to sell, then now people are interacting with that product, with that new user, and this other user or users before that, it's like it never even existed. That content just gets lost. I'm sure it's recorded in the computers, especially with AI technology. Everything's documented accordingly. Everything's organized. Obviously, for obvious reasons. But that's the only reason why I kind of have a hard time leaving a review when we are dealing with these companies who allow sellers to sell through their platforms, because at any given time they can change their username. They can log in and create a new account with a new email or whatever, especially if they're receiving a bunch of negative reviews. Okay, but so far, this, like I said, this faucet has a ton of good reviews. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful faucet. I looked at others. I wasn't drawn to them. My eye wasn't captivated for those like it is for this one. Okay, so this one just instantly caught my eye. So like when a user or users are writing, futuristic implementations for these inventions, it's like, where should we be posting these comments? We are posting them technically to a seller's profile, and they might not even care about positive or negative reviews. All they care about is making sales. You see, so there's a difference. There's people out there who don't care about good or bad reviews. They just care about selling them. They don't care if you guys are having a bad experiences with these things. They don't care if you guys return them or not. All they care about is making a sale. And then like for like for instance the mailing companies like UPS and FedEx and all them, they don't care either. But to them, they get paid regardless. If a company ships this to me and then later on I have a bad review and I don't like it and I don't want it, these companies don't care. But they might even say free returns after 30 days or before 30 days. So it comes at the expense of the company. But the mail companies don't care. They're just doing their job. They'll send it and return it. I mean, they'll take it from one location from point A to point B, point A to point B, point A to point B, over and over again. If they have to, they don't care. They're getting paid. You see, so there's some people out there who just don't care, and it's not their fault. Sometimes it's not even their job to care, because they're focusing on their own work, their own job. So that's what I mean by these sellers not caring. They might care, okay, but where do we people who want a future implementation for any invention out there, where do we go to? Like, who do we contact? That type of thing. So that's why I'm recording a video instead, and I am uploading this video after I'm done recording on YouTube. And even then, it doesn't guarantee that it will fall. It won't guarantee that it will fall like on the lap of the inventors. So that's why I created a page on Facebook. It's called Invent or Don't Invent, because I believe that any reviews concerning any and every invention should be connected to this website, to this software, regarding each and every single invention, especially if it concerns it, if it's about it. It has the same model name and everything, so it's always connected. It's kind of like the tagging feature on Facebook. Okay, you guys have the capability of tagging a person, a particular user, or a group of users, right? A group of people, friends, family members, plural. Okay, so it's the same kind of concept. But obviously, if you guys go on Invent or Don't Invent, it's obviously not going to be like that, because it's going to require like custom coding. Someone has to code this website into existence. And so far, since I don't have any coding skills besides HTML, and my HTML skills suck, especially my CSS skills, coding skills. But I have kind of been inventing or building this, constructing this just verbally. Okay, that's the best I can do. Especially since I don't have money to pay someone to actually build it for me, you know, or else I would have done that a long time ago. So anyways, that's enough of that. I just wanted to share this and create this video for just the faucets, not anything else. Okay, so let's just try to avoid everything else I said for now for this one video. Okay, because I think I was just in there right now and I was like, you know what, because I thought that I had read that I can actually adjust that, but it might have been from a different water faucet, water sink faucet. So if you guys look around, you guys will most likely be able to find this idea already implemented on some faucets, you know, some sink faucets. But for this particular one, I don't think that it has that option to adjust, you know, that water flow after a certain amount of time. From the last interaction or censored with the sensor. Alright? So the last time the sensor had contact or sensed any motion or whatever. That's what I mean. So there is some already, but not for this particular one. And trust me, like, I'm very picky. Like, I like this one, so I wouldn't want to like downgrade or select another brand just because it has this functionality, even if I have to sacrifice the looks as opposed to this one that I have now over another one just because of that functionality. So personally, I guess it's my problem, I guess, but I think it's just personal preference. For me, it's just personal preference. That's just the way that I would like it for this one. And I guess if, you know, since they can, if they were able to adjust it, if users were able to adjust it to 5 seconds or 10 seconds after having the last contact or the last motion detection censored thing, I don't even know anymore, then I'm assuming they can also turn it off. So having the capability of either going to zero, you know, turn off immediately, after moving your hands away from the sensor, or continuing the flow for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, and so on and so forth. It's kind of like the floodlights for outside. When someone walks, it turns on the lights. As soon as it spots them, it's off, and then they come and walk, and then the thing detects them, so it turns on, right? So that type of thing. And then when they walk away, people have the freedom to keep the light on the same way that I'm describing the water flow idea. So it's just logic. At the end of the day, that's all it is. You know, and it's user preference. It would be optional on each and every single user, so they will be able to adjust these settings accordingly to their liking, to their personal liking. So that's all I'm trying to say, okay, regarding this one faucet. Again, I love the faucet. I highly recommend it. It's beautiful, it's elegant, it looks very luxurious. It looks very modern. When I installed it, to me anyway, it made the whole restroom appear more futuristic. You know, and I don't know about people who had came to visit my mom, you know, who have came to visit us, and the people who have had the privilege of interacting with it. Like, I don't know how they felt about it, but I remember there was like one person, and they were like shocked. They were like, "Oh wow, you guys have the motion detection faucets," and they were like all excited about that, and they were happy for us, in other words. And a lot of you already know how to use them when you guys are out in public, and you guys go to a public restroom already. It's like that already. The only thing that we don't have is that motion soap dispenser, which we need to get, because we're constantly wiping our ass, you know, grabbing our penis. I'm grabbing my penis when I take a piss. Females are wiping their vaginas, wiping their ass, and once they're done, what's the first thing they go for? Besides, like, the toilet paper and putting their underwear back up, if they're wearing underwear. I don't think I'm wearing any underwear, but that's besides the point. No, that was a joke. I'm wearing underwear briefs, and we're on brand. Oh yeah, and then obviously I put my pants back up, but after that, I'm going for the soap, right? And normally I use the bottom of my, I don't know what this is called. So it's my hand, the palm. I don't know what this is called, but it's the one, like the pump, right? So instead of going like this, or like this where I just wiped. I go like this, so I won't have any contact. So I want to spread, so I can prevent the spreading of germs. Okay, so I place my hand right there underneath the pump thing, and then with this hand I just go like this. 1, 2, 3, or something like that, right? Like this. Like that. And then I'm able to go like this, and then I rinse. You know, that type of thing. So I'm not going like this or like this. I'm using an area of my hand that I know I'm going to wash either way. I'm going to eventually wash this with the soap. Okay? So that's the way I do it. I don't know if you guys are picky like that, like I am, but that's the way I do it. Because I don't know how you people do it. I don't know if you people are wiping your ass, you know, handling your business, and then, you know, I don't know if you guys are using your fingers, and then you know, washing your hands, getting all that lathering in, and then you guys rinse. I don't know how you guys are doing it. I never even asked. I don't know if you people are thinking the same things that I'm thinking. But, so that's the reason why I would want to invest in a hands-free soap dispenser. So, anyways, that's all I had for this video. I probably spoke way too much about it, but it's okay because I love this product. I recommend the product to everyone out there. And if you guys don't have a sink faucet, I would recommend this one. And I would also encourage all of you to maybe look into some soap dispensers as well. I know they do sell them, like some that it's kind of like this, but when you place your hand underneath it, it will automatically dispense some of the soap. So it's all personal preference, right? But for me, that's what I need to get. And I think that I did buy some. I did purchase some, but then I threw them away because, oh, I remember now, because they weren't they were automatic, but they weren't refillable. And then after I bought them, I was like, what the heck was the point? What was the whole point of spending that money if I'm not able to refill them? So pretty much I got robbed. But I was okay with it. I was like, whatever. I'm not going to make a big issue about it. And even if I wanted to make a big issue about it, like a negative way, like I wouldn't. I just would let it go, because it's not the end of the world. It's not something that will irritate me on a level, where I'll go back to the store and demand my money back or whatever the case may be. I was just like, whatever. I like trying things out, and I don't really have a lot of things that I want to spend my money on. Like, honestly, I don't. A lot of people want to spend money on shoes, on clothing, on vehicles, jewelry, or whatever the case may be. For me, I'm more like simple. I don't really like spending too much money. And the things that I do have, like all my artificial plants in here, the only reason why I have that is because I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to earn money by selling these artificial plants. And just like Edison, he never gave up. So in the same way, I'm not going to give up, because he learned like 10,000, it was 9,999 times, or ways that the light bulb wouldn't work. And then, after the 10,000 try or whatever, he figured it out, and he was successful at the end of the day. So that's my belief in everything that I do. I believe that I will eventually figure out a way, or figure out an approach that people will like. And sometimes people out there would prefer just to support someone other than other people, like instead of other people. So just because I like someone, they personally would like to purchase anything they sell. It's just like sales representatives, right? Sometimes the people they pitch to, the people they sell the idea to, they might not even like the idea. Like someone at the store selling candy bars, and they're like, hey, would you like to buy a candy bar? Sometimes you just feel sorry for them, and you're like, alright. Or they have a good energy about them. They're smiling, they're dressed very well, they have that positive energy, and you have that choice of walking away or just blessing them real quick. So you buy a candy bar, like fuck it, I'll buy one off you, or two or three, or whatever the case may be. Or fuck it, give me a flavor of each one, and I'm out the way. and that person's like, oh, thank you, man, have a good one. Yeah, you too. And we just go our own way from that point on, right? So in the same way, there's a lot of people out there who everyone knows that whatever people are selling, like for instance my artificial terrariums, you guys know that you guys can make this, right? Anyone can make this, but does everyone in the world want to take the time to make these? And not just that, but why buy it from someone else that you don't like? So that's what I mean by a different approach. Like, one day I'm going to find that different approach, and everyone is going to want to support me, regardless of the price tag. I don't care if I'm selling this for $1 or $20 or $100 or $1,000 or $2,000 or $100,000. Either way, people, eventually, I believe, support people that they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, you liking someone, but at the same time, and you having the mutual agreements of hooking up with each other, but then you going off and having sex with someone who's not even on this caliber, now that wouldn't make sense, right? It'll be like degrading yourself or downsizing yourself, that type of thing. But personally, for me, for me personally, that's the way that I look at all of this information, so yeah, that was just a quick example of how people are thinking. People think I like this person, so I'm going to bless this person, regardless of what anyone says. That's like if the whole world told you, oh, don't marry this person, don't hook up with this person, because and then they start naming all sorts of things that they don't like about the person. But you yourself, you don't give a fuck what anyone says about what they have to say about this person. You like this person whether you are married or not, right? It's like someone saying, I hope that I'm saying this where people can understand. It's like someone telling you that about your partner, your wife or your husband, Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to care what people say. You're going to love your husband no matter what. And if you're a man, you're going to love your wife no matter what. Right? Regardless of what anyone says. So, in other words, don't be angry if your partner wants to support someone that he or she likes as a person, likes as a human being, likes their characteristics, likes the characteristics the person has, the character, the way the person carries him or herself, that type of thing. So, just support the people that you like. Why support someone that you don't like? It's just like, I've actually have heard it more than once where people say, don't support franchises. Support your local community, and that includes people within your own community or communities, whatever, that live next to you, that are your neighbors, because it's helping out your own community. These franchises, they're taking all the money to China. Some people might say, but what's the matter? What's the problem? What's the problem with that? What's the issue with that? Even if there is franchises out here and the money's getting directed to China, how is that a problem? And there is no problem. The only thing to look out for in the keywords is supporting your own personal community. Supporting your community. Not people who want to redirect the money to China or some other country. But anyways, I have to end this video. All of you guys have a great day. Thank you all for watching this video. And there's a fly in here. Killed it. Little drain bug, drain fly. I've been noticing these drain flies in the restroom for some reason. Anyways, there was one in here, so I killed it because I don't want to be going to sleep at night and this thing, doing stuff to my body or whatever, or my eyes, or whatever flies do. I have no idea. So I see it in my room. I'm going to cut my video short just so I can kill the goddamn thing. But now that it's dead, I don't have to fucking end my video. Praise God. But anyways, the fly dead or not, either way, I'm pretty pretty much done with this video. So again, if you guys were thinking, maybe you guys are watching this video because you guys want to install one of these motion censored sink faucets. Well, honestly, I shared my honest opinions regarding it. Everything else is self-evidence. And regardless of this issue that I've been encountering, I'm still going to use it and recommend it. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, especially if you're not in a rush. I'm always like doing something, so for me, sometimes it can become annoying, especially like as I continue to interact with it. It's like filling a balloon up, or it's like placing a penny in a piggy bank. After a while, it can only take so much before it can't take anymore. You know, so that's how I am regarding this sink. So hopefully they come out with a better version, like a Model 2, like the Teslas. You know, they constantly keep coming out with newer stuff, better stuff. The same company, but new stuff. Maybe you guys can add a light to it, little lights or something creative. You know, maybe a little light that kills bacteria. So as people are right there going like this, it's like killing bacteria or something like that. Imagine that. I mean, because I've been doing some research. There's a lot of crazy inventions and ideas out there. So technically nothing's impossible. But other than that, I believe that this faucet is super cool. It's beautiful, and you guys won't regret it. And I have to go to bed. It's 12:27, and I'm still drinking coffee. And I have to be up. I don't know what time, but I have to be up to go to work early in the morning. And my phone was dead. Oh, the phone is starting up. So excuse me. Anyways, I'm going to set some alarms. So I know I have to be up like around 7. So I like to set an alarm for 6 a.m. Then 6:30. Then actually 7. But I'll be up by 7. So sometimes I even go as far as 5:30 and 5 a.m. Just so my mind can slowly come back from my sleep. Like, my mind knows I'll be waking up. I don't know. If you guys practice meditation, if you guys study meditation, it's like for people who like study meditation. They have to control their feelings and their anger, so they get taught to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then from 10 down. And this is the hard part. This part is the hardest for people with anger issues. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oofa. Oofa. And just like that, we are back at our vortex.